Hello YouTubers, this is Michael Fuller from Fuller's Hobbies. I just wanted to give you an update on last night's video. I talked about the PS5 hard drive that I got and put in my PS5. I already had one previously hooked to the back of an USB port, and it was a USB 2.0, and it was only allowing PS4 games to archive to it, so you can play them from it. But the new hard drive, once I hooked it to it, to the back, I was trying to see if I could use two hard drives, but PS5 would not allow but one. So I had to safely disconnect the other one, format the other PlayStation hard drive, and then I tried hooking it up again just to see what would happen, and it was still only allow one hard drive. So there's a limitation to one hard drive on the PS5s besides the internal one. So technically you got an internal one and an external one. So you can have basically just one outside the internal to make things less complicated. But what I noticed was when you hook the hard drive to it, it gives you an option when you look at your games to move the game from your internal hard drive to your external hard drive, but it won't install your games directly on the external hard drive unless it's a PS4 game. I thought PS5 games would install directly to the hard drive, but it won't. So PS4 it will, but PS5 it won't. So you can move your PS5 games onto the external hard drive so that you can free up some internal memory. And when you do that, supposedly from what I read online, it shouldn't take too long to move a game from hard drive to hard drive. But the only thing is you'll spend that time that it takes from moving that game to the external hard drive. And then if you wanted to play it again sometime, you'd have to move it back from the external hard drive back to your internal hard drive after verifying that you have enough free space. So I'm not sure how long it actually will take. I'm going to do a test, and I'll probably record a little segment of me performing the test, from my PlayStation 5 to show you kind of how long it may take on my particular transfer from internal hard drive to my new external PS5 hard drive. I have an idea that the process would take 30 minutes or possibly less. It might take 15 minutes to copy from hard drive to hard drive. I'm not sure. I'm just guessing, depending on the game size. But I'm hopeful that it's no more than 15 minutes to copy from hard drive to hard drive, and if you want to bring it back, 15 minutes back at most, because when I downloaded these games having a gigabyte internet connection, it still took a good 45 minutes to download most games, and then the process of installing it. So it was normally about an hour process, if not a little bit longer on some games. So if you can copy it to an external drive and then you put it back in 15 minutes and just have to spend a few minutes installing, setting things back up, that won't be too bad, so that you can have all kinds of games already downloaded. I think that's a big key, because the time you spend on each individual game downloading, that adds up quite a bit of time versus just archive them on a hard drive, and it might take 15 minutes. We're going to get into that later in another video to see, because I'm very curious on how long it will take to transfer from internal to external. Like I said, my guess is 15 to 30 minutes, somewhere in that range, but I'm not really sure because I didn't do it last night. Because I had to re-download some of my games that I had stored on the other hard drive, because they were already set to install there. So I spent that time last night doing that, and I thought either today or another day this week I would attempt and do another little video on the result of what I find out, because like I said, I'm very curious and anxious to see the performance of that drive and to see how it's going to work and how beneficial it will be. I know it's going to be beneficial to an extent, but because it's going to allow me to keep games archived to where I won't have to download, because as you buy more games and you get more than 10 games, you're going to start getting that internal hard drive pretty full pretty quick, depending on what games you purchase, because some games vary in game size. Like I think NBA 2K23 is like 100 and some gigabyte just for that one game. It's like 100, maybe 40, 150 gigabyte, and then I think Madden was roughly around 60 or 70 gigabyte, and some of the others I have. So I mean, 2 or 3 games you can easily use up 300 gig, if not more. And if you only got an internal 1 gigabyte or 1 terabyte hard drive, you're going to use that up pretty quick, probably like anywhere from 5 to 8 games, depending on the game size. But we'll get more into doing the test that I was talking about, which is transferring a game from the internal drive to the external. I know I've kind of repeated myself a few times in this video segment, but yeah, we'll see how it works out, and hopefully you enjoyed this update today, at least talking about what I found out thus far. But I'll continue to keep you posted, and the next video show you how to get to the hard drive and actually how to move a game, and then see the progress of what it estimates in time, and then the end result of transferring it back from external to internal. That way you can see what the calculated process might be on one game at this size versus another game. So stay tuned, and I'll try to do another video within the next few days. And if you're not a current subscriber, like I always say, like and subscribe, and God bless y'all.